Hi everyone, it's Scrap Squad Sunday. Scrap Squad's back to posting Friday, regular weekly Friday layouts for us to be inspired by and lift. And this week it's a really cool one. I love this. I especially love that photograph, that the lighthouse and the beach and the guy taking a photo is really awesome. And I like the little stamped click, click, click. And I don't think I'm going to have that in mine, but those are things I admire about this one, so I'm going to keep this in my with my travel supplies to be inspired to do a travel layout. I think I have that globe paper. This is Keely Brennan's version of this lift, and she's still scrapping Christmas photos. So she's kind of picked up the major elements, the wide piece of paper that's almost as wide as the photo but not quite, the narrower strip, the other color strip, the title that runs vertically along there, and it's very simple. She doesn't have the tag. She has this cluster of flowers. All of those, but both of these have elements that I really love. So let's see what I can bring into the deal. The photo I'm scrapping is this one, which is a filtered photo that we took just on a random evening when I either didn't feel like cooking or didn't have anything handy to cook, and everybody was available, so we took them out to one of our favorite places called Stone's. It's a seafood restaurant, and Ava loves seafood. So just at some random moment, I have no idea what they were talking about or what was going on in the photo. It just kind of shows the bond that they have, the way that they can talk to each other. A lot of times it's jokey, or instructional or whatever, the way that 11-year-olds would talk to their dads. But in this case, it was actually a real conversation. So I snapped this photo and fell in love with it, decided that I wanted to bring out, it had the inside of the restaurant was kind of brown. I wanted to bring out some of the other colors that were in there. So I ran it through a filter on my, I think it was Prisma, but it may have been Waterlog. I used the two a lot, and it kind of brought out these blues, and this blue kind of reflected. In some of the reflective surfaces, you get a lot of the colors. The television broadcasting in the background there kind of shows some blues, and you can see a teal color on his sweater. So that's where the color choices are coming from. I'm going to go with black and gold and teal, I think. So we'll kind of see how that turns out. One of the first things I'm going to do on camera is the title. And I'm going to use this alphabet, which came in last month's Mind the Scrap kit. It's a Heidi Swap collection, and I love that the letters kind of, when they stamp, kind of come out spotty and look like they're not properly stamped. So I can not properly stamp it, and it'll look like that was the intent, right? So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, so I have already, on my Misty platform, I've already lined up, let me see if I can get that on camera. I've lined up the letters, and I lined them up using the grid lines that are on my Misty platform, which helped me get them straight. Usually, I don't care if they're straight, but in this case, I kind of wanted them to be, because I'm going to have a lot of straight, vertically oriented surfaces. So let me get my ink, and I don't know if you can see this on camera, but I'm just gonna kind of pat it on there like this. Then I'll move the platform back to this and bring it down and kind of press on it like that. And we'll look to see, I definitely need to re-ink, and restamp. But with the Misty, that's easy to do. So let me rub the ink pad across like this, which sometimes fills in some of the wavy low stuff and gets you some intensity. And since the title is Intensity, I'd kind of like the letters to reflect that. Okay, I like that. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to pull my background paper out and start building the layout. One of the things I noticed and liked in the original lift layout were, get that in, get the light there. Okay, so that should be better. Were these tags, and I liked the kind of the profile, the outline of the tags. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was introduce this a kind of teal color with the other colors I'm going to use, and I'll show you in a minute what those are. But I cut out of, you've seen this paper pad used for a snowflake and a tree in other layouts I've done this season. I have no idea what collection this is, nor the brand. I honestly have no idea. Okay, and I have these dies. I have the small, medium, and large. So I thought what I would do is cut the small and the medium, and whereas you see there's kind of a red border around a white tag, I'm going to do the teal border around the white tag, and I'm going to build it, it's two-sided here, and then I'm going to cut it in half and use it. Let's see what I'm doing here. It'll be tucked in, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but this gives me two sides to work with. And the other one, I had this piece of paper that it's a strip that I intended to use in another layout and didn't use. It has gold Christmas trees embossed on a craft background with little gold polka dots. So this is not a Christmas layout per se. I used this larger, and I didn't have a big enough piece of this to cut a full tag and then cut it in half. So what I did was I just used I cut two of these out, and I tried to do it so that it was, you couldn't really tell these were Christmas trees. I know, for instance, that this star atop that tree is going to be hidden when I tuck it under. So is this one. So these should look fairly generic, and I'm layering the other tag on top. So we'll see how well that idea works. And for the ties in them, I really like this white and gold baker's twine, but it's got a really nasty habit of unraveling. So I tried using a little tiny dab of liquid adhesive at the ends right after I cut them. So we'll see if that holds. In some layouts, I don't care if there's unraveling. In fact, sometimes I use the edge of my tweezers to kind of tease them a bit and coax some unraveling to happen. In this one, I would prefer that it not unravel. Okay, so for my biggest piece of background paper, I'm going with this. It is a flocked transparency. It's snowflakes, but it could be any kind of design you wish. I thought it would look really nice. It goes well with the colors in the photo, and I love it. And of course, I've been hoarding it since 2011, and it's time to use it, right? This is from the St. Nick collection by Fancy Pants, and as I said, I've been hoarding it since 2011, along with many other pieces of that collection. This piece of paper, which is going to be my second layer, the narrower layer, is a really nice kind of distressed houndstooth check. And it's by Little Yellow Bicycle from their Once Upon a Christmas collection. Also, well, this one goes back to 2012. Now, I love this Santa Claus and had visions of fussy cutting him out and using him on a layout as an embellishment. So I'm going to cut my strip from the top where I don't lose my Santa. So let me get about cutting these. My photo matted in black here is about, let's see, 4 by about 6.5. So what I'm going to do here is a 4 by 4 by 9, and I'm going to offset it so it's not going to be directly behind. So let me cut the 4-inch, well, first, that would have cut my Santa Claus off. Let me first cut the branding strip off. And that up. So now I can cut the 4-inch strip. And I'll cut 3 inches off of that to make it 4 by 9. Okay, one layer. This was actually going to be the skinnier layer. So this one needs to be 3 inches wide. Apologize for this. And 8 inches long. So I'll cut 1 inch off that. Do it this way. Okay, so that's the one that'll go directly behind the photograph. And I kind of like that look. So now I need to go very carefully. This is the one that's going to go 4 inches. Whoops. Let me get this off the transparency. Cutting a transparency, you can't start in the middle like you can papers. You have to kind of go from end to end. And I know that, but I don't do it very often, so I sometimes have to remind myself of that. Okay, and here's where I want to cut the 3 off to make it 9. Okay. That left some nice scraps. So this is going to be the main background layer. This is going to kind of sit off to the side like that. And then this will go kind of up here. And I'll start layering tags. What I want to be sure I can do is include this. As you'll see in this original one, there's some little tiny strips kind of sticking out on either side. And I have this piece of paper that I cut a couple tags out of for a previous layout. And I thought that this this piece in the middle and this piece on the side are wide enough. Actually, let me do this with scissors. Wide enough to kind of tuck under. And even though, again, it's a Christmas paper, it's from Pink Fresh, and although there are little Christmas packages and snowflakes and stockings in there, if I do this right and tuck this in properly, you'll just get a hint of there's some kind of a black and white pattern. It shouldn't read as packages, but because it was kind of late November and people might be starting their Christmas shopping, I'm not going to be too upset if it does look like that. Okay, other elements, we've got the title on. I've got, it's got something, this is a travel layout, so there's something round here, and there's a camera here. And I have these little pieces. This is a clock, and this is a camera. They're both brass, I'd say, and the color just goes well with that photo. So let me start gluing things down. I know that this will get covered up with some things over on the left side there. So I'm going to apply my adhesive where I think there will be other elements. And I want it kind of over to the left. And I want this layered hanging a little bit off of it, but not a whole lot. And I need to, I'm so glad I turned it over and there's no Santa Claus on that side. I would hate losing any of that Santa because they just aren't making that, that line anymore. Okay, so that's off there. And then my little tiny piece that's going to go under it is going to go right there. And I want to go ahead and put it on because that kind of tells me that I've got the spacing right while I could still maybe loosen that glue and undo it. Okay, let me kind of get that there. And what I may do is doodle around it just to emphasize that it's there. And on that layout, the original layout, there's some distressing, and I'm choosing not to distress here. This, in here, the paper layer goes over the photo. So let me not put that on. I want to put the photo on. It hangs off the side there. I'd like some foam behind it. So let me cut that. Okay, and this black matting, I've had someone ask, do I cut into a black cardstock? And the answer is no. I actually buy these bulk packages of a little bit over 4x6, and this is a little bit over 5x7. So I get both sizes in black and white. And I use those, I've got the picture going in upside down. That would not be a good thing, right? Okay, let me do that. I want to, this houndstooth check is a little tricky not to get a funny look on the edge. Okay, tweezers to help me place this and mash it down. Tip off. Let me put this kind of up here. Well, actually, let me first place the tags. I know that this one is going to go first, and I'm going to layer this one over it, kind of going up. So let me put this on. I want to be sure to leave enough room for this one to be layered on it. See, that's going to work out great. I'll just put it on. Let me do this. And I'm actually getting some of the rub-off. I didn't think I had any of the ink on my fingers where I was touching the paper, but I actually do. So I've ended up making a couple smudges. So that looks to me like we're gonna do some spraying, right? I'm going to support this little tag on some foam so that there's a little dimension created there. And I didn't measure it perfectly, so let me cut a bit of that off. I wonder how much total screen time is devoted to cutting off bits I did wrong. Okay, that one's done there. I didn't measure this one. Does this one go? It kind of goes, it's on the side of the photo, not the strips. So let me put this here, and I need it to be up a bit. Okay, that's good. And this one will be propped up a bit. Another piece of foam. When I asked the question about how much time is wasted for redoing things you did wrong, the answer is, well, that's what video editing is for. Now see, this is going to hang down below, and I didn't want it to do that. And it's actually not going in enough. It's hitting the foam that this is on. So I'm going to cut it back a bit, kind of place it here, and that tells me where my camera's going to go. I'll adhere the camera so it covers that hangs off. And I'm going to do that now so that the glue will get a chance to dry. And there's a kind of a hole in the back of the camera, so I'm putting the adhesive on the flash, and that's going to adhere straight to the photo. Okay, I've got this which can overhang the tag or overhang on the photo. It's not wide enough to really be visible if I hang it on the photo, so I'm just going to go ahead and let's see, there are two sides you could have that on. I possibly could put this on a pop dot. Let me kind of do it like that. Now, I have a couple things because I'm kind of going with gold here. I had thought that I'd like to bring this element in, and I was going to cut it in half and see if it works kind of as part of this tag cluster. I kind of do that. You know, that's kind of almost too much. It might look better here where the where it's over white. Let me try tucking it under here and then going like this. I actually kind of like that. So I'm going to sprinkle a few little tiny star-like things. There are not many more of the stars. Oh, I didn't do this guy. Okay, so let's take this up, and I didn't do it because I wanted to put this in first. Okay, and I think I'm gonna like this better when this gets in here. Let me make it shorter. And I will like this better as it goes over that. Number one, it kind of adheres it a bit, and it obscures the fact that those are packages. Okay, I've got two, so let me include a third one. I'm gonna go with this, kind of right there, so it's an uneven triangle. Let me I'll leave that there and move. Actually, let me change this out for a different kind of star, and I'll put it in a bit of a different place. I'll put it up here at this corner. Okay, so I'm gonna call that finished, and I didn't use, there were a few things in here. I thought about using like one of these tags, but that's a rose gold. I had thought about maybe selecting my title from here, but I like it the way it is there. Okay, I'm done, and I love that I got this page, this photo scrapped. It's one of my favorites ever, and I didn't want to do anything too involved. I wanted to be relatively simple. So, mission accomplished. So go out there and enjoy scrapping this weekend. Hope you have a wonderful holiday season. See you next week.